A major mark of maturity is hearing something that you don't quite agree with from someone that you may or may not know, but listening anyways to help understand where that person is coming from. And so in this video, I'm going to be sharing some stuff that a lot of people probably won't agree with or won't like, but I encourage you just to kind of listen to where I'm coming from, my experience and my growth and the path where I'm growing from. And maybe some of it will be helpful. Maybe not, but you can throw it all away later. So one thing I've been giving a lot of thought to recently is consistency. Consistency in every aspect of life. Not just consistency, but also intensity. My word for the year this year is intensity. To be intense, to do whatever I'm doing intently, with a great amount of vigor and really putting forth a strong effort. Now, there's some areas where I've missed the mark. The main objective is to keep moving forward and being super intense with whatever I'm doing. Part of what comes to play here is consistency. Consistency in not all areas, but as much as possible. And consistency is super easy to define. It's just doing the same thing over and over and over and over and over. And it's not easy. And oftentimes, here's where I get really frustrated with it, is it looks really boring. Consistency is the boring part that leads to an end result that is often very shiny. When you see someone living in the house that you want to live in, and maybe it's a really nice house, or driving the nice car that you want to drive, or they're able to buy a house at all, or they can afford fuel, or they can afford groceries, it is a result of consistency. And so while I'm no expert on the outcome side of things, I have been putting in a tremendous amount of effort to build consistency on the input side of things. And so that's something that I do with a lot of diligence and care, is focus on the inputs, not the outputs. Here on YouTube, oftentimes I see creators, they'll make goals like this. My goal this year is to hit 1,000 subscribers. That's not a goal because you don't really have control over that, whether someone clicks subscribe or not. That's an output. What you do have control on is the input side. And so if you upload enough and you're making increasingly engaging content, that will probably result in more people clicking subscribe, and so you'll hit that metric that you really want to hit. But hitting 1,000 subscribers on YouTube is not in and of itself a goal. It's a result of reaching a goal. Perhaps finances are tight. The goal is not to make an extra $20,000 per year. The goal is to do something that will result in this thing. Unless you upgrade and get a new job, you really don't have control over how much money you can actually get. The goal would be get the new job, which will result in the increase in funds or income. That's something that I have been working on, and I'll share a little bit of that in a few moments. The income side of things is something I've been working on recently, and I'll share some of that in a moment. So I wrote down a few areas where I've been building consistency, and it's the super boring stuff, right? Like just doing the same thing every day. Don't miss a beat. Keep doing it, and the results will shine for you. The first area is my faith. I was born into a family of Christians, raised a Christian. I've gone to church my entire life, but I haven't always been a very good Christian, right? And so this past year or so, I've really put a heavy focus, especially in 2024, with my word being intensity. I really put a focus on that. So making sure that I'm reading the Bible every day, I'm praying every day, I'm going to church consistently, I'm doing my best to serve in areas where I can. Time, talent, treasure, right? I want to give of my time to help others. I want to give of my talent, whatever talents I have, whatever abilities that I have, to volunteer those things to help others. And then my treasure, my money, I want to be able to help people by giving some money back to my church in order to help people. Secondly is my marriage. If you know anything about my story, you'll know that my marriage was a train wreck for the first 10 years. It was really rough. I was going to say horrible, but it was horrible. It was really bad. Several times almost ended in me just giving up on the marriage, and it was rough. And then my wife and I started to take it super seriously. And now here we are, 17 years of marriage, and the past 7 years have been like super good because we took it seriously and we consistently worked on it. Weekly date nights, mandatory face-to-face conversation time, put your phone down, focus on each other, all of that. Thirdly is fatherhood, being the best dad that I can possibly be. And I would say that this is like consistency is boring, but like fatherhood is, I feel like it's never boring. It's always intense. Making sure that I'm with my kids, that we have game time, that we have, whether that be like video games, board games, playing outside games, frisbee time. Like even when you're tired, do the thing, because it's going to have long-term results. I was raised by a very young mother who had me when she was just super young, and so I didn't really have a dad in my life until I was 10 when my stepdad came into my life, and that didn't work out very well. So I just haven't had like a great like father experience, and I want to make sure that I provide the very best father experience that I can to my kids. And that all just happens with consistency, just doing the thing over and over and over and over and over. And so that maybe one day my kids, when they are grown, they'll say, wow, I had such a great dad because he just showed up every single stinking day to be with us. My health. I want to live for a very long time. I want to live to see grandkids. I love life. I enjoy it. It's amazing. It's not easy, but it is so enjoyable. And I want to live for a very long time. So I spend a good amount of time focusing on health. Now, that can be like what I eat and stuff, but I do spend a lot of time in the gym working out. I want to get strong. I want to be the 75-year-old grandpa that can actually run around with the grandkids and move and do all the things. I don't want to be stuck in a chair whenever I'm 50 because I'm not healthy. That's something I focus on heavily. Business. Family got to eat. Things are getting expensive. Interest rates are up. Inflation's up. Got to take care of the family, take care of the business. A lot of boring input, but a lot of good output. And then friend relationships, making sure that I dedicate time. It's not a lot of time, but dedicate time to friends who might need me around, but who I definitely need around me. No man is an island. Like no successful person has ever been just an island by themselves. I am very much the type of person that I have pockets of time where I love to be outgoing and I love to be in a crowd, and I have much time where I love to be just quiet, me, alone, peaceful. But sometimes I have to set aside that peaceful, alone, quiet me time in order to spend with friends, because I understand the value that friends play in my life. And I think I understand the value that I give to friends whenever we are together. So that's something that I focus on. To build consistency, you have to be okay with monotony, because consistency looks like doing the same thing every day for an extended period of time. That's a note that I wrote down that I just feel is so important. Consistency is boring, and it's just doing it over and over and over. And then one day, things start moving. It's delayed gratification. It is not something that just comes easily. It's something you have to work for. At least it's something that I have to work for. I don't know about you. You probably don't. But for me, I have to work for it. And then tracking things, because one way for me to easily lose my consistency is to do a thing for a short period of time over and over and over and not see a result. And so then I abandon and I forfeit that consistency. So track as much as you can, or I'll say I track as much as I can. After a while, I start to see a correlation between how much input has produced a certain output. And once I start to see those results, I can then better strategize how to get an output that I want based on strategic input. I hope that makes sense. I worded it the best I could, but basically if I track everything, I track my workouts, I track my family time, my wife and I track our budget, we track date nights, we track finances, I don't know if I said that, we track everything. We track work. I track what I get paid from different various platforms every single day. And I've been tracking for months. There's a beginning part where it's not that much. Like it's pretty minute how much result you're getting for how much work you're putting in. But then suddenly it catches up. And then you're getting an output. And you're like, wow, I'm like in this steady flow. But the output is tremendous because it's just been building. And so consistency will build up an output, and when you track it, you can become strategic on what to do for your input, that you can estimate what the output would be. So what you track grows. I love that quote. I don't know who said it. I don't know. I hear it occasionally from time to time, but it repeats in my mind. That's probably where I hear it from time to time. It repeats in my brain. What you track grows. Anything that you track, if you track it and you're watching and you're looking for those signals and those hints and those markers, those checkpoints, it will grow. Guaranteed. It's just a rule of life. What you track grows. So here are 5 examples on how to build consistency in different areas of your life. Develop a daily routine. Every day I wake up at 5:30. With the exception of Sunday, I wake up at 7:30 on Sundays. Go to the gym. Most days, 4 to 5 days a week, I'm doing the gym thing. Reading the Bible schedule. So every morning after workout, my wife and I, we sit down. My daughter normally joins us. We have coffee. My daughter doesn't have coffee. My wife and I have coffee. My daughter joins us for Bible reading. We go through our daily reading of the Bible. It's great. It's a really fun way to just connect and be present with each other. Create a work schedule. Figure out what your work schedule is. Stick to it, especially if you're self-employed, entrepreneur type. People say this, like the entrepreneur journey is not this, it's this. Well, it's this probably more than it needs to be, because I'm estimating here, because we build consistency and then we start to see a result. And so we ease off the consistency, which causes the result to do this. And then we build consistency, we start to come back to it, which builds results, and the results make us comfortable. And so then we start dipping on the consistency, which makes the results go down. So then you have like this weird struggle of a career. If we stay consistent, it stands to reason that the results will keep coming through. Now, there will be fluctuations, right? That will happen. But you can mitigate that frustration and those fluctuations by how consistent you stay. For me, I'm at my desk by 8:30, and then I'm done working by 5. Sometimes there's like bonus work to do, or my wife is out with the kids and they're doing something later in the day. And so I'll put in what I call bonus work after 5 p.m. Maybe I stay an extra 30 minutes and organize, clean up my office space so that I'm fresh and ready to start the next day. Perhaps I'll do a little bit of extra video work, that sort of thing. Today is sort of bonus work because I'm making this video. I have not been consistent with YouTube in terms of making videos about this kind of stuff. I do plan to build that into my consistency and my workflow in the future, maybe in the last quarter of this year. Not really sure, but right now it's not super high on my priority list as my other work stuff is. Let's see, setting goals and tracking progress. We talked about that. Set your goals, your inputs, right? Track your outputs and see where the correlation comes into play. Building healthy habits. Choose one healthy habit to do per month. I was talking to one of the young guys at my church yesterday, and he's like, man, I really want to start working out. I see your Instagram stories of you working out and everything you're doing. And I was like, dude, just start with like 3 push-ups a day. Like struggle through and just get 3 push-ups a day for 2 weeks straight. And it's not a lot. There will be 0 results. But the result that we're looking for is not in muscles, but it is in repetition. It is shown in that consistency. And then improving personal development. Here's something I have not been doing, and I really should. For a long time, I was reading at least an hour a day, and I haven't been. So for me to improve my personal development, probably 30 minutes of reading each day would be something that would get me right on the right track. Now, I do read my Bible every morning, but what I'm talking about is like something else that is a personal development outside of my Bible reading, because Bible reading is more spiritual development than anything. But personal development, just reading, staying sharp, keeping a clear head. So one area where I saw consistency really come through for me, and this is what I was referencing earlier, is back in mid-April, I resigned from the day job that I had. It was a 9-to-5, kind of a corporate office job. And I really wanted to focus in on what I'm doing with creating review videos and that sort of thing. I was making X amount of dollars with my review videos with the Amazon Influencer Program. After leaving that day job, which was decent, consistent income, didn't really have to think about anything. It was just good, right? Paid all the bills. I decided to put a lot of effort and just really become consistent day in and day out on the Amazon Influencer Program, creating review videos for vendors and sellers on Amazon. I started doing 8 videos per day. These are 2-minute videos on products around my home, products that I would buy, just things that I had. This tumbler, a 2-minute video talking about its features, why I liked it, what I didn't like about it. In April, I made X amount of dollars doing this. In May, after having done for about a month and a half, I made X amount of dollars. It was just the same amount of money after a month and a half of doing 8 videos per day, 5 days a week. And then in June, I decided to step it up to 10 videos per day. And what we saw was our income from this program go from X to 4X. We 400% increased our money by the next month because I just stayed consistent uploading 10 videos. And then that 4x money went on to actually 1.5 itself. And so we're up even higher because staying consistent. So that's what I got for you today. I hope it's helpful. Let me know if consistency is something you struggle with or if it's something that you just kind of have built into your life. Looking forward to seeing any comments that you write. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.